The smartest person I know has a PhD in economics, manages other people's millions for a living, and is personally broke. Not poor, broke. There's a difference, and once you understand it, you'll understand why intelligence has almost nothing to do with building wealth. Stay with me, because this is going to challenge something you've probably believed your whole life. We've been sold a lie that financial success is a math problem. Get a better job, earn more, and the rest sorts itself out. But if that were true, doctors and lawyers would be the wealthiest people in America, and lottery winners would stay rich forever. Neither of those things is reliably true. Roughly 70% of lottery winners end up broke within a few years. Give a person who hasn't fixed their relationship with money an extra $100,000, and you haven't solved their problem. You've just given it more room to grow. Here's the line I want you to remember. Money problems are rarely math problems. They're mirror problems. What does that actually mean? It means the way you handle money has almost nothing to do with your intelligence, and almost everything to do with a story you started believing long before you ever earned a paycheck. Maybe you grew up watching every dollar get fought over. Maybe money was never discussed at all, like it was something slightly shameful. Either way, you absorbed a blueprint, and most people spend their 20s and 30s running that same blueprint on autopilot, wondering why their bank account never seems to reflect their effort. Let me give you a scenario you've probably lived through yourself. Two people, same job, same salary, same age. One of them gets a raise and immediately upgrades their apartment, their car, their weekend plans. The other gets the same raise and barely changes a thing. 5 years later, one of them is still treading water with a slightly nicer view. The other one owns assets that are quietly working a second job for them, 24 hours a day, while they sleep. Same income, completely different trajectory. The variable wasn't the paycheck. It was the behavior sitting underneath it. This is where I need you to notice something uncomfortable. Lifestyle creep doesn't feel like a mistake while it's happening. It feels like a reward. You worked hard, you deserve the nicer car, the bigger apartment, the upgraded everything. And you're not wrong to want nice things. But there's a quiet, dangerous pattern hiding inside that reward loop, and almost nobody points it out. Every time your spending rises exactly as fast as your income, you are working harder for the exact same financial position you started in. You're not climbing. You're running on a treadmill that's been tilted to look like a hill. So why does this happen, even to genuinely smart, capable people? Because we are, biologically, wired for instant gratification, and modern life has weaponized that wiring against us. Every app on your phone is engineered to make spending feel frictionless and immediate, while building wealth is, by nature, slow and invisible. There's no dopamine hit from a retirement account quietly compounding in the background. There is a dopamine hit from a package showing up at your door 48 hours after you clicked buy. One of those feels good today. The other one changes your entire life, but only if you can tolerate feeling almost nothing in the meantime. That tolerance, that ability to delay the reward, is the actual skill. Not intelligence, not income. Discipline under boredom. Let's talk about the social layer too, because this one's brutal and nobody likes admitting it. A significant amount of spending in your 20s and 30s isn't really about the thing you're buying. It's about being seen having it. The vacation gets booked partly for the trip, partly for the photos. The car gets upgraded partly for the drive, partly for what it signals sitting in the parking lot. And here's the quote I want stuck in your head the next time you're standing in a checkout line deciding between something you want and something you need. Wealth isn't what you show. It's what you don't spend. The people quietly becoming financially free are almost never the ones performing wealth on social media. They're usually invisible by design. Now let's get into where this actually goes wrong for most people, because awareness alone doesn't fix behavior. The first mistake is believing the next raise will be the one that finally lets them get ahead. It won't, not automatically, because spending habits expand to match income unless you deliberately interrupt that pattern. The consequence is a lifetime of higher and higher earnings with zero increase in actual net worth. The fix is brutally simple and deeply unpopular. When your income goes up, let your savings rate go up first before your lifestyle gets a single dollar of it. The second mistake is making financial decisions while emotional, and this one is sneaky because it disguises itself as logic in the moment. Panic selling investments during a market dip, revenge spending after a bad week, taking on debt to soothe a feeling instead of solve a problem. The consequence compounds quietly for years because every emotional financial decision tends to be the opposite of the correct one. Markets dip, then recover, right after the people who panicked have already sold at the bottom. The better alternative is building rules in advance while you're calm, so that future, emotional, you doesn't get to make the call. Decide your investing strategy on a good day. Follow it on a bad one. The third mistake, and maybe the most expensive, is mistaking a high income for financial security. They are not the same thing, and confusing them is how doctors, lawyers, and even finance professionals end up living paycheck to paycheck on six figures. You can't out-earn a bad relationship with money. You can only fix it. So here's the actual takeaway, and I want it to replace whatever you believed about wealth before you clicked on this video. Building wealth isn't primarily a knowledge problem or an income problem. It's a behavior problem wearing a financial disguise. The good news inside that is enormous. Behavior can be changed by anyone, starting today, regardless of what you currently earn. Here's your one action. Before you do anything else, today, open your banking app and look at your last 30 days of spending with total honesty. Don't judge it yet. Just notice the pattern. Notice what you bought when you were stressed, bored, or trying to prove something. That 15 minutes of honesty will teach you more about your financial future than any course you could buy. If this shifted how you think about money even slightly, it actually helps this reach more people who need to hear it. Subscribe if you want more of this, because we're just getting started building real financial intelligence together. And comment one habit you just realized you're doing on autopilot. I read every single one, and I'll see you in the next video.